Tomorrow, June 21st, will mark the official start of summer, and I personally can't wait for it. Summer is my favorite season of the year, and it's not only known for its great weather and summer festivities and everything that comes along with it, but the awesome wrestling. From the WWE to TNA to ROH to even the Indies, every wrestling company puts forth their strongest content during the summer season. And you can argue that is time for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is always when WWE puts forth, their big stars and best storylines and stuff like that. But personally, I found that the summer season, WWE specifically, but every company, has had their best storylines, best feuds, best matches during the summer. Let's go back to 2009 even. Jeff Hardy and CM Punk had one of the best feuds on the SmackDown brand in years over the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk had just cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase for a second time, also doing it for the first time during the summer of '08. So that was their big summer storyline then, which also had McMahon's $1 Million Mania. It ended in late June, but you get my point. But anyway, 2009, the great feud between Jeff Hardy and CM Punk over the World Heavyweight Championship. Got a lot of awesome feuds and awesome matches out of those two, leading into the TLC match of that year's SummerSlam pay-per-view in August. We got the CM Punk heel turn, the first time CM Punk had turned heel in nearly 3 years in the WWE, his first heel run, not counting that one-off heel turn in ECW a couple of years prior. But that being said, though, it was one of the best highlights of what was rather a lackluster year for the WWE. So that was 2009. We also got the reunion of D-Generation X that year at SummerSlam against Legacy, which I thought was also a very solid matchup. 2010 was the debut of the Nexus, which I've talked about here on the channel before. Now it's one of my favorite factions, if not the favorite faction of mine in WWE history. But we got that entire Nexus angle over the course of the summer. Granted, you could say it carried on until the following summer of 2011, but it really was at its hottest during the summer of 2010 with their feud with John Cena, their 7-on-7 match at SummerSlam, the return of Daniel Bryan that year at SummerSlam. A lot of great stuff that year. The Miz winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, Kane on his reign of terror turning heel, winning his first World Heavyweight Championship in years. A lot of great stuff during the summer of 2010. For 2011, this also kind of applied to TNA. TNA had brought back their Destination X pay-per-view to the month of July, brought back a lot of talent. We saw the return of Austin Aries, who had won a TNA contract. Also the re-debut of Kid Cash and the actual debut of Zema Ion, who has been with the company ever since. Austin Aries had run rampant during that year. We had a few TNA title changes that summer, the debut of Joker Sting, and a couple of other things in TNA. TNA's had better summers than that, but that's one thing. For the WWE, I think the summer of 2011 basically speaks for itself. My favorite period in wrestling ever since becoming a fan. I mean, I know you could say the Attitude Era or the 80s, whatever. But since becoming a fan, my favorite time to be a wrestling fan was during the summer of 2011. And of course, the summer of Punk and what it's called. The summer of Punk initially happened during 2005 when CM Punk was with Ring of Honor and he won the title, ended up staying and holding the title hostage before he went to WWE, and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you're familiar with the storyline. If you're not, go back and check it out. It was awesome. And the WWE repeated that 6 years later in the WWE. So, of course, CM Punk, his massive pipe bomb was that year's big summer angle, that late June. I thought it was a shoot promo, and it was kind of a shoot promo, but I thought it was real until I found out otherwise. But, of course, we had that fantastic matchup, and to this day, my favorite matchup of all time in WWE history since I've been a fan. Punk versus Cena at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, my favorite pay-per-view as well, in front of a rabid Chicago crowd that July 17th, 2011. We also got the return of Kevin Nash at SummerSlam, Del Rio cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff, awesome stuff going on that summer. Also, Orton versus Christian, a great feud that year. So the summer of 2011 spoke for itself. 2012, really not as memorable, but we got that big CM Punk heel turn at Raw 1000, which was also awesome. A majority of the summer built up to that point. We got the debut of the 3-hour Raws. You can argue whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, but that still happened during the summer of 2012. The summer of 2012, in my opinion, was absolutely owned by TNA. TNA at the time, and I mean, I know it's hard to believe now, was actually better than WWE. Not financially or anything like that, but in terms of pure entertainment, TNA was the company to watch. They were going live every single week at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Spike TV. I think from the Impact Zone. They hadn't gone on the road yet, but they were still delivering awesome content. Slammiversary that year was amazing. We got great matches that year, especially the Angle and AJ Styles versus Bad Influence matchup. We had the whole, Claire Lynch storyline, which was absolute bullshit. But the Bound for Glory series is also something to watch for every summer in TNA, which I always look forward to. The Destination X has also been a thing to look forward to every summer for TNA, where whoever is a TNA Heavyweight or TNA X Division champion at the time can cash in that title for a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. That's always been a storyline for TNA that I always look forward to. Aries cashing in and winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship that July will forever be etched in my mind as one of the best TNA moments in years, if not my favorite TNA moment of all time. But they had a very good summer that year as well. 2013 was owned by the WWE. TNA had some good stuff as well with heel AJ Styles, the Bound for Glory series. Destination X was great. Slammiversary was also very good. Number of cool things going on in TNA last summer, but also summer of 2013, in my opinion, was better for the WWE. And they had CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, one of the best feuds in years, in my opinion. An awesome match between Lesnar and Punk at SummerSlam. SummerSlam was easily the best pay-per-view in years for the WWE. One of the best pay-per-views in recent years, I should say, because Money in the Bank 2011 and Extreme Rules 2012 were both also very good, as well as WrestleMania 28. But SummerSlam 2013 is definitely ranked up there as one of the best pay-per-views of all time. And it's really not hard to see why. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena was terrific as well. Love that matchup. That summer really was the rise of Daniel Bryan, in which he won the WWE Championship from John Cena that year at SummerSlam. We got a number of awesome things that summer too. Dolph Ziggler turning face, Del Rio turning heel. So it really was a very good summer to be a wrestling fan. Right now, it's really too early to tell what we're in store for this summer. But as of right now, since the start of June on my birthday, we got the split of the Shield, which was absolutely unexpected. But it's so far so good. We've got a lot of great promos out of everyone in the Shield. We've got the whole Authority angle still going on. Daniel Bryan, when he's going to be back as WWE World Heavyweight Champion, or crown a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view later this month. So I look forward to that. But even NXT, the summer season for WWE, it's not only a time where the companies put forth their best product and whatnot, but it's also a time for me personally to lay back and get some more time and watch some more wrestling. And there's no better time to do that than during the summer and watch the WWE Network. Now that it's finally here, we all have more time to watch now. It's great. Last summer, I started getting back into NXT at Full Sail University. I've watched it since the start. But I really started getting back into it after taking a year off. Last summer, I've been watching it ever since. NXT is tremendous. Go out of your way to watch it if you don't already. And of course, this summer, now that I have more time, I've been watching Ring of Honor a little bit more. I watched their War of the Worlds pay-per-view, which I really enjoyed. And watching all of their recent ROH TV episodes, which have been also really good. Looking forward to their Best in the World pay-per-view this Saturday. That should be great as well. But Ring of Honor is another company I would definitely watch out for this summer. They've been on the rise for the last couple of months, putting forth a great product, great matches. So they're really a company to keep your eye on for this summer, in addition to the WWE TNA. TNA just had a very good Slammiversary pay-per-view. It remains to be seen as to whether they can keep the momentum going. But they're going to be in the Manhattan Center for the rest of the summer, so that should be pretty cool. The WWE has their Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up, which is always great. Like I said before, the split of the Shield, a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion being crowned pretty soon, and maybe a few exciting feuds here and there over the next couple of months. So I very much look forward to it. But the WWE summer season, as the title of the video says, has been one of the best seasons in wrestling ever. I personally think the winter's kind of transitional because we're all looking forward to WrestleMania. Spring is WrestleMania time, but the aftermath is WrestleMania hangover. So after that, it's really not all that exciting. And then there's the fall, which is kind of bland because you get the SummerSlam fallout, which is, last year it was boring, and the year before that, like 2011, it was boring too. 2012, it really wasn't that bad. But the fall is pretty unexciting because we're all going back to school and work and all that bullshit and whatever. But the summer is one of the best seasons. I correct myself, I stand corrected, the best wrestling season ever for WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor. And it really is a great time to be a wrestling fan. I very much look forward to it. With the summer being my favorite season anyway, with wrestling being great every summer, that's yet another reason to look forward to it. So I hope you guys have a great summer. Enjoy wrestling as much as I do. It should be a great summer for all three wrestling companies and maybe even Global Force Wrestling or whatever Jeff Jarrett's new company is, and all the indies as well. I'm going to a few shows here and there. I'm going to a Raw in the next few weeks, so that should be pretty cool. But yeah, the summer season, hands down the best season to be a wrestling fan, as it is the best season for wrestling.